Okay, Lily. So with the movie deck that were the investment deck that we're creating, I'm gonna try to go ahead and open it up on my plate. Um, One part I wanted to go back into and work on was some more notes and description from Mordecai. Here we go. Okay, she wanted to wait.
Is Mordecai joining the call?
I sent him a message to see where they were at. He hasn't responded yet. So I am not sure. So I'm not sure. I'm still waiting to see if they're gonna show up.
Okay. And I'm in the car, y'all. I hope it's not too loud.
No, just keep turning your music on and off because it is I think it's gonna be your
Okay.
Bluetooth. Where is that? So what we are really working on right now, and Tawana, I know I'm gonna need your eyes on it more, is the deck that we're putting together. And it is so that we can push it to get investment. Um our investment deck is basically going to break down what the documentary is about, why we're making it, who the audience is for. And I want to kind of go over some stuff that Lily and I kind of put together with our writing going back and forth. It really has kind of enhanced the content altogether. So I feel like we got some good direction on how to really talk or describe the film. Ooh, y'all, I'm sorry. I think I had some type of allergic reaction. And I'm just itchy all over and it's so irritable. Sheesh. Um Whew, okay. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. I wish I can share this screen because it will let me allow y'all. Let me see. Let me do it like this. Hold on. Do 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 do.
And Lily, while she's doing that, is that the same link that you and I were in last night with the bio and everything is? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, she just got the latest.
Okay, cool.
There we go. Found the option. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay, so where did you save it though? Hold on, y'all. I got it figured out, but now I can't figure out where I saved the file. Okay. Okay, that took forever. Alright, now I can upload from my computer. Okay. Alright, I was trying to get it to upload. It's just taking so long and it's not uploading like I wanted to. Hold on, I think there's more to kind of text me. Okay, I think they are in the room. Are they here? I don't see them. Oh yeah, I think they're in the wrong room. So hold on, let me try to get them in here. Alrighty, so I think the description I was looking for is somewhere over here. And then Mordecai and them is coming to y'all, so hold tight. Hold on. We're gonna have to make this meeting quick because we got another one coming up. Okay, so this is the investment deck that we kind of been working on. And I feel, Tawanda, where you can really kind of help is the log line still needs work because um I think I don't think it gets the gist of what the overall story is, but I want to kind of get everybody's opinion on it too. But for it to say, I don't know if I want to focus so much on just it being the 10-year anniversary or if I want to focus on more of the returning home, loving on your family while they're here, because that was the theme of the story that Mordecai and I came up with. So I wanted to kind of see about working on a log line some more. But I want to say somewhere in the content that Lily and I are working on, we found we started talking about Black families, and then I think I even mentioned about the purpose of this story is the reason why they should want to invest in the story is because we're trying to normalize Black women going through certain shit and being able to heal from certain things they've have experienced. And so I think we're getting closer to what the overall film could be, but I still don't feel that we're all the way there. So Twan, have you had a chance to go into the doc and the deck that we're creating for the documentary?
I have. I actually wrote that log line, but I got that from one of our conversations. We said we wanted to center around the anniversary of the bookstore, but I know how we can flip it. So we can say that you decided to celebrate it there since you were going to be amongst your family who you had, were rekindling with. So we can flip it that way.
Okay.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right, let's work on rewording that. Who added these blue notes? Is you too, Tawanda?
No, I only did the bio and the log line.
No, that's me with the extra
Okay,
notes.
our notes, Lily. Okay. Let me see. That bio I know that needs to be updated. It was a bio somewhere else that we were using in one of these other documents. It could have been for the podcast deck that we put together. I want to say that bio is the one that's most up to date.
Where can I find out? Because that one I used, I got from Amazon and just kind of edited.
I know. I don't like that one's
Gotcha. Where can I find the other one?
It's gonna be in the podcast deck.
Okay.
Let's see.
Tracy the Mika podcast, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say it's in this.
I mean, is that what I'm asking? Is that what I would search when I go in Basecamp? Look for, I guess,
podcast tour. That those words should take you to, but it also is going to be in a docs and file.
Okay. All right, I found it.
Let me see here. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is the final version that you're looking at, Lisa, as well. So this is how this finally came out. But it was somewhere in here where we talked about me. This may be it right here. And let's take this about Tamika page bio, condense that for the deck. I see some people coming in. Hey, Daniel.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Let me send a message to Kalima. This is she was late for another call. This is not pertaining to that particular call. So I will have to send her another video link.
I also sent them the link. Let's see if they get it.
I just sent her a message. Is Mordecai going to be hopping in here?
Yeah, he was just on the other call with me. Let me get him back in.
Okay, what is something else I want to go over while we wait? Let me go into those talking points that you guys had kind of put together. Tawanda and let me remove this one. Tawanda and Lee, let me go over that because Tawanda, I was talking to you earlier. You had mentioned how you had an idea how we can incorporate Junior.
Yeah, I added it in. It's at the end of the document where you are talking about your current relationship with your children and giving Junior opportunity in that segment to speak freely, just whatever he wants to say about his mom, dad, his sisters, relationships, whatever. And we'll figure out specifically what, but I think it'll fit in that space.
Okay, so what do y'all think about the okay, I see Mordecai. So far,
Tamika, it's echoing on mine.
that's Tawanda.
Oh, I'm sorry.
With the footage that y'all have seen so far, and Lily, I'll let you go first, and then Tawanda, I'll let you go so that you can when you hop off mute, it won't be an echo on nobody else. So Lily, you can go first. Y'all can give me your feedback on what y'all think on the footage so far.
I like it as it is so far. It's just a few, technical kinks, but the way it's shot, it is really nice. It has really nice softened tones, and I do like the feeling that we are just following Tamika around, like we are a fly on the wall trying to experience what she's experiencing, even if it's just her doing her makeup. So I like it. I like where it's going, and I like the elements of family and like sisterhood that are there between your friends and your family. Over
and out. Tawanda next.
I do like the footage. I want to see how it January when we go in and start adding those pieces. I still say it's a lot of dead space, like a lot of stuff that can go like the girlfriends conversation. I kind of got bored with it. When it stopped being about you, we started talking about somebody else's church and just I don't know. I lost interest, but we'll see when the talking points get on. I do like what Lily said, us following you around and just kind of like documenting what we're supposed to be doing. I think it came out nice. I do have a question for Mordecai and Daniel, though. If we did get footage from any of the fans or the bookstore owner when we went on Sunday.
Yeah, so I updated Tamika on that. So the file names, so if you see the file for day 3, it says day 3P1, and that just meant it's part 1. So there's still footage of 1.5, 2, and 3. 1.5 is the conversation with Tamika and her ex-husband at her father's place. Part two is part two, I believe, is just the book signing slash stuff going around the store. And I think part three, if I remember correctly, is the store and basically the end when the argument happens and everything until I finally cut off the camera there. So basically, once you guys are done with looking at, I think whatever's left on the drive at the moment, which is just, I'm pretty sure it's just day 2, part 2, and day 3, part 1. I will take those off and put on day 3, part 2 and 3. Day 3, part 1.5. The only issue with that piece is there's a for some reason there is a frame issue with it that I haven't figured out exactly. I've watched the footage on my drive or on my computer perfectly, but in terms of exporting it, it's for some reason there's always just this frame issue happening, which I don't understand. So I've been trying to cut out just that separate frame, but it's part of the conversation, so it's just making it awkward. So I'm trying to figure the best way to kind of smooth that. But basically, like, that piece that whole chunk will still be in the dock. It's just I can only watch it on my computer in the moment. So I'm still figuring out that. But I can definitely, once you guys are done with day 2, part 1, and the other one, just let me know, and I'll take those off and put on day 3, part 2 and 3. Since these files are really huge, so I have to kind of take things away and put other stuff on.
Okay. The one where you say that the frame isn't quite working just yet, what day is that?
That's day
what's
3.
the footage of it?
It's the footage of you, your ex-husband, your son, and your father and your father's wife, or all conversing. That whole section of day 3.
Okay.
I mean, it's just a frame thing. Like beyond that, like it still works. It's just being a bit of a pain. So I'm just trying to figure the best way to kind of either to cut around it. It's still viewable. I'm just trying to figure the best way to do it. What I might have to do is maybe just cut that chunk for a second and just take the parts that are actually taking out of that portion, and then just make that so that's gonna be seen. Because ideally, like all the footage that you've all been seeing is just like the bare bones. Nothing's been done to it. Nothing's even really been cut, really, except like some superfluous things, really, from part 1, part 2, and 3. I just kept everything. So I didn't know intention and basically what to cut yet. I was just kind of just leaving it all there on the floor through. So I'll figure out day 3, part 1.5 and figure that out. But 2 and 3 I can definitely put up with together.
Okay. I know I done went through the videos that's on there so far, so I'm good to move forward with watching the next footage, the next set of videos.
You and Tawanda, you guys ready to move on as well?
I'm sorry, my phone had completely cut out, so I missed what you said. But yeah, I've watched days 1 and 2, if that's what you're asking.
Copy. Did you finish part 1 of day 3?
Yeah, that's when it was just Tamika doing her makeup, though, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
Copy. Okay. Lee, same with you. Are you ready for to move on as well?
Yep.
Cool. All right, cool. I will do that now then.
Okay, perfect. I do want to say though, I guess we need to figure out when you want to see the old footage, because I was able to pull all the old home videos from my aunt's computer, from her DVDs, and so there is one video of my big mama's birthday celebration. I think her 85, and this is just a few years after my mother's passing. So everyone was there, all the generation of children. So we have that footage. It is also me kind of at the beginning of my Arthur career too. I think I was probably like a year or 2 in, and I was really, really large. When y'all see me in this footage, it's gonna be like wow, because it was very just shocking to see. And I was like a different person. Deja and Junior's in this footage, so you kind of get them see them as children. So that's on that footage. And then I watched another one, which was the 1995 Christmas and 1996 New Year's, and which is ironic because this is one of the very few Christmases where I had both my godmother and my mama together with her family, and then my mama's side of the family together at my aunt's house. So I don't remember us being blended too many times after a while. And so being able to see all of us together, we're singing 12 Days of Christmas, which is a family tradition. You see me at a very young age. Like, I'm like, I don't know, 9, 10. You see my sister at about 13, 14. You see everybody. And then I got to see my mom. So I was able to see her body movement, hear her voice, and all that for the first time. It was a very, 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 very weird, emotional moment for me, which is why I haven't watched the other two videos, because that was watching all that was quite emotional, just seeing all those people. And then, yeah, so we got the footage to kind of weave in and out of what we have so far. And then on top of that, kind of putting all of these pieces together for January 9th, confessional piece in front of the small audience of women. So what are y'all thoughts? What y'all thinking?
I like it. Did I just hear you say some of the footage made you emotional, like crying, like all that kind of?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't mean to say it like that, but okay. Well, we're gonna need to use that. So on January 9th, when you gonna have the footage, or can I get it now?
Yeah, you got it now. I mean, I have it now, so I can give it to you.
But is
Yeah,
it a
that's why I
DVD
haven't
though?
watched the other two, because I don't know what to expect. And that
Is
was
it a
just
D-
like, that was a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna need to use that. We need to catch those moments, and that's part of that dark room that I was talking about earlier. That kind of stuff, the intimate stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but is it a DVD though? Is that what you got?
They're on a disc. I took them to
Oh,
a shop and they took them off of the DVDs and made it. They're on a flash drive now.
oh, flash drive. Okay, cool. All right, so we can meet up later this week or something, and I get it.
Okay.
All right.
I guess the one when you watch that, and then you and Lee can kind of have like a creative talk, and I guess add to some of the talking points. I don't really, for me, I guess when we do shoot for January 9th, this is also something too, Mordecai, I want to ask you. If you feel that with the confessional piece, like being in front of women, kind of had like this social gathering with women where I talk about my journey back home and the reason why, yada, yada, yada. And then adding on the home videos, putting all those pieces together, I wanted to see if that was enough to make a complete story.
And basing that with everything that's been shot as well.
Yeah.
I would say yes, based, and I guess it would depend. I mean, obviously the DVD footage was always a piece that we were looking forward to using, because that was always very integral to it. The confessional piece is integral in the sense that I feel like that could be stronger than the book signing portion. That kind of felt a little out of place. And I think this might be potentially a better replacement, mostly in the sense of like being able to hone in more so on the theme of family, which is very much the heart of the story. So in terms of the arc of it, I think it's still a little bit like up in the air in terms of at least specific versions. In terms of like actually putting together, yes, I think it can be done.
I'm only asking because I know we have to rent cameras again, and if we have cameras, then if we need to shoot some more, then I wanted that to be the opportunity while we have the equipment, and then Tawanda and Lee and I be in, the writer's room trying to be creative with the story itself.
Copy. Well, then I guess my question to that is, based on what you've seen, all three of you have seen, more just looking at it from the theme of family and kind of like just moving all the pieces off to the side. Is there anything from the documentary footage that you say we don't need, for one, and two, what could be potentially expanded upon?
Okay.
And yeah, just kind of basing off those two questions. Those are the first ones like come to me. Yeah, is there anything like you guys just saw like immediately like, okay, well, we definitely don't need this? And really, because I think even if you look at the shooting style of it, most of it, predominantly speaking, it's looking at it from, it's very much fly in the wall, but it's also at the same time, you could argue really from your perspective of everything happening. Ideally, I mean, it's noticeable in the sense of like, for example, I would say for example, the conversation when your ex-husband arrives, or even in other scenes as well, the camera's predominantly following you, and then it falls off you to go to the other people that you're interacting with, and it's kind of basing it on the ebb and flow of how the conversations are unfolding. One of my favorite examples of that being when your ex-husband, I forgot what he was talking about at the moment, but really he's just making a shit of himself in the kitchen, and I think he's either talking to your father or your son at a time, and the expression on your face of you clearly not wanting him there at the time. He's you're in the foreground and he's the background as essentially like this looming, ghostly, annoying presence, and just kind of like capturing it. Like he's kind of like a gnat essentially in that scene walking around, and the way the camera follows you in that. So I'm thinking in terms of this like intimate conversations and the talking points and everything, I think they should, especially because this is after the fact of the documentary, or
Hmm.
of the shooting of it rather, I think they should commentate on that, because I think if we have a strong through line of the intimate conversations in terms of, because I know like when you're talking about that with Tawana and Lee, like you guys were deciding like I think it would be best not to have it be like pretty much like set up the camera, have it in front of you, put the light on you and everything, and have you basically just commentating essentially in that sense, and instead have it rather be like a more intimate conversation with people that you can bounce off of from the audience,
Hmm.
which I think is a stronger version as well. So I'm thinking in terms of that, so the talking points slash questions that we could kind of softball give to the
Give
audience
to
to
the
give to
audience,
you,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
to give to you that you can commentate on would be great, because then it'd be easier for us to connect pieces together and shorten out the things that we don't need, and also just make it stronger together. I think the only thing I'm wary of is really just the ending. That's still the only piece I would say we don't really have. Um,
Okay.
and I
That's
think
a good
that
point.
that's something to kind of build off of, because I know like because there was a lot of things that we were hoping to shoot that just didn't happen. One big example being just shooting at your mother's house. It's like I know she's talked about in the film, but there's not, or in the doc from the conversations that I do remember from it, but she doesn't have the presence that she would have had if we were able to
Well,
shoot that
I have
style.
good footage of her from back in the day, so I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
utilize some of that and with some voiceover,
Mhm.
it could
Yeah,
work.
so she definitely we can bring back into the foray. So ideally right now I'm trying to think of what is the best ending that we can end on. Because ideally the way like if we go based off the way the footage ends as we have right now with the argument at the end, and it just kind of like would hard cut to black. Now, obviously, that's kind of just a very odd ending. So I think it's perhaps probably growing off that argument, like wherever that came
I
from.
got
Because
an idea.
sure.
So, depending on how because I want to watch the rest of the footage to really get that answer, like
Mhm,
really think that all the way through.
mhm,
But it could be me in the moment of talking to the ladies, or it could be me just talking or saying something to the camera and then it just kind of cuts off and it maybe ends with some type of old footage, maybe some old home video footage of young Mika. Maybe it can end on a little young Mika note or something
mhm.
like that.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility as well. I think it's I think yeah, I think that's a definite strong possibility. And I think adding to that, I think the conversation, definitely those last conversations with the audience will definitely say for sure. And I think tying it together will work as well. I think kind of just having mm, I guess more of a thematic feeling of what the ending is, of what we all together want to end on, will give a better sense of what imagery and sound wise it will be ending on. as well, because I think like it definitely could, because I think like one of the things that even in the original outline was that it bookended with footage from the past and it's going to the future. So I think actually based off what Tawanda was talking about in terms of the dark room, I don't have a full conversation on that, but in terms of you watching the footage, this older footage, I think perhaps we could even shoot that, and that could be a part of the end as well. But I'm not sure, I can't exactly see how that would look at the moment, but those are just some ideas I've had.
Okay, I think you also gave me an idea, especially when it comes to the confessional piece with the audience. Perhaps it can be a continuance to me celebrating 10 years Cookie and in a conversation with this quote unquote fake book club that we can say is a book club of some sense or something to that effect. I'm having another conversation, but back home in Atlanta. And maybe a story can start for me at home and my intimate space or whatever the case may be. I'm preparing to whatever to go. Or maybe we can add on to the dynamic or some B-rolls to that. But I think just that setting itself, maybe it can be a continuance adding on to the 10-year anniversary of Cookie, and through that event, I am talking about my journey back home, and through that, we can kind of then go into the footage, weaving in out of home videos, and then taking it back to the audience with the questions, kind of weaving in and out.
That's perfect.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. So I think that goes back to like the very first conversation we had on it. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I remember like one of the things we were talking about was I can't remember exactly all. I remember like I came up with an idea of like we were shooting with you as you were preparing. I think it was you were preparing. We were shooting with you, preparing to shoot with you as you were preparing to leave to go see like your family for the first time at the cookout and everything. I think we can take that idea instead of you're preparing to go to this book club meeting or the intimate conversation essentially. So we can start with that, and ideally even before that we could even start with the DVD footage as if you just watched it. So ideally the film in a weird way starts like a film, I guess you could say, like a short style, and then it goes from that into this more documentary style where you've shown up at this event, you're saying hi to everyone, you're sitting down, and which in that case we'll have to like storyboard it a little bit. But in any case, you sat down, you're seeing everyone, and then you begin the conversation. And I don't know exactly how it goes right now, but basically in some way as that's going, and maybe if there's like book signings afterwards or whatever's going on with it, at some point they finally begin like, or you begin either way, basically like, all right, I'm gonna start talking about, going back home and everything. And then as that happens, boom, you can start with, it could be like either talking with day one stuff, like talking with your friends and like, kind of getting the sense of like, this is why I'm here and everything. Or even it could be just skipping that and getting straight to, the worst of it, which was like, well, I was so ready to see my family, but we were 2.5 hours late. And then like basically just like immediately cutting to that. Or it could be in varying ways. And then essentially based on the conversation, the talking points. And I guess I think the interesting thing is we don't have to have day 1, 2, and 3 in order in terms of the documentary. Excuse me, actually, someone's at my door. Sorry.
Okay.
Mika, this is being recorded, right?
Yes, it is being recorded. And then, guys, once we are, Tawanda and Lily, once we're done here, we got to hop into the other team meeting. I just told them that we'll be over there in a moment.
What's that meeting for? This is the only link I have today.
No, everything is always sent to your Google Calendar.
We are water beverages. We have everything you can ask: tea, coffee, takeouts, all that stuff. But the point is, the dispensers, not cold water dispenser machines, we have just 2 bucks.
Well, while Mordecai is doing that, y'all was following what I was saying as far as weaving in and out of and then kind of maybe adding on more into the story behind when we sit down with the group of people and things like that. Perhaps starting the story earlier in that day. Maybe I'm getting makeup done and getting ready for the big event, the big day, yada yada yada. So I don't know what y'all thinking.
Yeah, no worries.
I like it. I think it's interesting to the audience so that they can I guess have some sort of excitement. It's not just a linear story. That makes sense.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I like it as well. I think it adds to the author aspect of Tamika.
Okay.
I got you. I can set you up with a phone, I can explain everything how it works. I'll send you a link. All that stuff. Cool. Nice to meet you. What was your name? Mordecai. Mordecai. Nice to meet you, man. That's great too. Have a good night. You as well.
I just got a panhandle. That was weird. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot where I left off or anything.
So does anybody remember?
You were talking about it starting off as a cinematic thing and then turning into a documentary style.
Oh, yeah. So once it goes into the documentary stuff, I was thinking because even though we shot it in order, I think based on the talking points and the base, like we can restructure it. Like it doesn't have to be day 1 goes to day 2, it goes to day 3. Just basically take the strongest portions of those 3 days and basically wrap the conversation around those, and then intersperse the between the footage of the intimate conversations / the footage of the DVD footage as well. I think like that would make it pretty coherent, very streamlined, and very concrete in terms of like chopping things off that we don't need, and we just know like we're using these pieces, and in terms of putting it together, it'll be a very smooth process.
Okay, I'm following, and I think before you had kind of right before you had ended, I was thinking, well, I had asked everybody their thoughts on adding, an additional story onto the January 9th meetup that date. Like actually starting footage from perhaps my apartment, or perhaps I'm getting makeup done, getting that day. But it would maybe add more onto, I guess, it's Tamika who I am now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I'm being redundant. We not already talked about this, but
Are you saying getting dressed for January 9th? What you talking about?
January 9th for the confessional. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Like having that be set up like an event, or with like a book club sort of thing. Like I'm talking about Cookie, like it's an extension to another event for Cookie.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Well, and 2, I know you were talking about renting the cameras. We could always do a voiceover for that because we got footage of you doing your makeup when we were in Texas, and nobody has to know we were in Texas.
Gotcha. Okay.
And my phone is probably gonna cut out again, y'all, but I'll definitely be able to jump back on the team meeting in a few minutes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, all right, Mordecai. So I think where we're leaving off now is just sending the next round of footage. Tawana and I will meet up this week. I hand her the flash drive for the old footage that we have. And then I guess from there we'll get on the call before New Year's, I guess, to talk about, kind of do this same conversation again and have more direction on how we want to, I guess, end and wrap everything now that we saw all the footage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds like a plan.
All right, so I'll schedule another call for that following Tuesday. Let's see. I'll do like the 28th, 29th. Is the 28th okay for everybody?
Yeah, that's okay.
Should be fine.
Yeah, that's cool.
Should be okay.
Okay. All right, I'll set it for the same time for the 28th, and we'll all reconvene then.
Cool. Sounds like a plan.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Hey,
All
you
right,
too.
bye.
Later.